right, so I want to talk about the new South Park episode. I haven't seen it yet, but when I was driving to Florida and staying in hotels, I was able to watch, I think, two of the newer episodes. I think is there three total. I think I saw the first two. Anyway, they were on Comedy Central. That's like the only station that the hotel gets, and well, not the only station, but one of the only ones that there's anything halfway decent to watch on. TV is terrible right now. And so I got a chance. I wasn't really planning to watch them, but I got a chance to watch them. And I've always liked South Park. You know, most of their episodes I like. There were a couple instances where they completely missed the mark, like when it came to the jab. But for the most part, they've been decent. And it looked like they turned the corner recently, not before these latest episodes, but there was a more recent episode a while ago where my favorite ones are when all the handicapped kids are like fighting, and like you got the one kid, the like bad guy handicapped kid trying to like mess with Timmy, and it was where Timmy started a business of like an Uber business where he would like drive people around in like a wagon. Like that's, to me, that shit is just hilarious. Anyway, there was one part of that episode that I thought was a spectacular joke. And it was the bad guy handicapped kid wanted to sabotage Timmy's business. And so what he did is he was going to set up some sort of sexual harassment scandal. So he was recording himself, or I don't know if he was recording himself. He wanted to have someone make a sexual harassment claim. So this bad handicapped bad guy, he got a job with Timmy's business as a driver. And in order to sabotage Timmy's business, he picked up what he thought was a woman. And as soon as she gets into the car, he says something along the lines of, "Do you want to see my dick?" And in a very deep voice, the woman says yes, which is, it's obviously a tranny. And then what happens is the tranny takes the handicapped bad guy kid into a public bathroom and rapes him. Now, that's harsh. It's offensive, but I thought it was hilarious. And I thought, what a hilarious joke about, and a commentary on what's currently going on in society politically. It's one of my favorite South Park episodes. I thought it was vicious and raw and offensive, and it's the exact type of comedy that I like. So I was delighted by that. Well, unfortunately, now they've gone back into the wrong direction, like they did during the Ching Chong AIDS, and they're doing these really lazy jokes about Trump. Now, I have seen some of their Trump jokes, and I thought they were funny. When they had, I think his name is Garrison, you know, the guy with Mr. Hat, they had a whole thing where he was Trump, and I thought that was actually pretty funny. There were some episodes where he retired from being Trump and then went on vacation, and then some Trump supporters saw him, and then they did a rally, and I just thought the whole thing, it was like pretty good. So they can make fun of Trump in a funny way. What they're doing with the new episodes, and it really seems like they're purposely mailing it in on the political jokes, which makes me think that part of this deal is that they have to do these political jokes against Trump. And it seems like they don't want to, and I'm not saying they're not conservatives or anything, but like, I just find it hard to believe that successful comedy writers can make episodes of this show so bad. Not every part of the episode is bad. In one of the episodes, the SJW principal, I think it's called PC principal, switches and becomes like a Jesus conservative. And there's the whole thing about prayer in school, where they're talking about Jesus in school, but they literally put Jesus in the school. And I thought that was pretty funny. I thought that was clever. And so those jokes, I was like, all right, this is normal South Park. That's great. When it comes to Trump and Kristi Noem, do you notice that they tell the same joke over and over again? So, for example, Kristi Noem. There's plenty of things you can make fun of Kristi Noem about. And so, obviously, you're going to make a joke about the dog incident. No problem. But they did the dog joke like 15 times. it got to the point where I'm like, why are they telling the same joke over and over again? Same thing with her face. Now, if you want to say she's an older woman, still a smash, she's obviously had work done. So if you want to make fun of that and say her face melts off, no problem. But they had that joke happen like 15 times. The first time is kind of funny. Then it's like, what is happening here? Why are they telling the same joke over and over again? And then with Trump, first of all, I don't know why they decided to take the Saddam Hussein Satan thing from the movie and some of the episodes, and they just made Trump Saddam Hussein. And it's the same voice, and it's like, you already have a Trump character. You have Garrison. Have Garrison be Trump. I don't understand. That worked. That was like funny. So they have Trump. His voice is the Saddam Hussein voice, which is like the Canadian guy voice. And then, Satan's a homosexual. And Trump's pulling his cock out like 50 times an episode. Man, look, if you want to make one small penis joke, no problem. It's like the liberal small hands joke, but if you do it one time, fine. Trump is constantly naked. It's constant cock. What the fuck? Why are you telling the same cock joke 50 times? Well, apparently, they did the new thing. They did the same thing in the latest episode, but not with a cock joke, but with a joke that Trump is fucking Satan. And they apparently tell it like a million times. Trump's fucking Satan. Did you know Trump is fucking Satan? Trump is fucking Satan. What? I just find that odd. You can, again, these are and you might not like South Park, but I like South Park. I think it's funny. So I view Matt and Trey Park, or what's it, Matt Stone, Trey Parker, whatever the fuck their names are. I view them as successful comedy writers, right? So I find it odd that successful comedy writers, when it comes to Donald Trump in these latest episodes and Kristi Noem in the episode with her, they're just telling the same joke over and over again, and they haven't figured out a way to make it funny. I mean, Kristi Noem, there's plenty of things you could make fun of her on. You could have her do those cringy teeth whitening ads in the middle of a press conference. You could have her banging Corey Lewandowski in a closet or something. I mean, there's plenty of things you can make up. You could, she's always dressing up. They could have had her dressing up in the most ridiculous costumes ever. Have like every time you see her, she's like dressed up as a new type. But there's so many things you could do. And instead, her face melts off 50 times. All right. I just think it's odd. And especially in the same episode where they, first of all, so the Jesus jokes I thought were clever. And I liked when now look, there was an aspect that was gay where ICE went to heaven to arrest angels, and they were all Hispanic, like all the Hispanics are angels. Like, that was obviously gay. But it's kind of funny that ICE rolled to heaven to deport illegals, and then when Kristi Noem gets out of the ICE van, she says, only arrest the brown ones. See, I like humor like that. I thought that was funny. So they can do it when they want to. But for some reason, especially with Trump, they are absolutely mailing it in. So, and yeah, look for that. Look for the same joke over and over and over and over again. That tells me what that tells me is they're being forced to do something that they don't want to do. That doesn't mean that they like Trump. It just means that, it seems when it comes to the Trump jokes, and I'm not, this isn't even a defense of them. I don't even care. Look, they might be assholes. I don't even know. I don't care what the writers of South Park are like in real life. I don't care. You either write shit and it's funny or you don't. What you do in your personal life, whether you're an asshole, whether you're a liberal, I don't give a shit. If you write something funny, it's funny. So I'm not saying that these are secret Trump supporters being forced to make jokes about Trump. It seems like they are mailing it in. And why would you mail it in? Because it's almost like a passive aggressive way to you're being forced to do something. So you just kind of in order to make a point, you just tell the same joke over and over again. Now, if I'm wrong, then in the later episodes of this season, then we won't see the same jokes over and over and over again. But I have a feeling that this is going to happen throughout the season. It's happened 3 times. I think there's been 3 episodes. So now I'm probably not going to seek out this episode to watch it. The only reason I watched the first two is it just happened to be on when I was in a hotel room. I generally avoid TV, and I'm not going to go out of my way. I mean, I'll check out old episodes, but if I'm watching South Park, I'm turning on a Timmy episode or something. I'm not putting the new shit on. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. But anyway, like I said, I could be wrong, but that's my read so far. It's just a shame that all the good shit gets ruined, and hopefully one day Hollywood can be completely dismantled and replaced by people on the internet. And I do think that'll happen. That'll happen eventually, but. And especially with AI and the things that eventually you'll be able to do with AI, people will just make the movie they want and they'll watch that, and it'll be pretty interesting. All right, join us tonight for the Hard News Network live stream at 9:15 p.m. Eastern on Rumble. That's rumble.com/user/Hard News Network, and I'll see you there.